Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. So there is this other voice note that I uploaded earlier on, and this is the translation of that voice note. So if you are having problems with these Tokoloshes, these spirits, I think it is very important for you to know the enemy, to know what you are fighting against, so that when you pray, you know what you are fighting against. So you need to know your enemy. So this is the translation of that voice note that was sent to me. The translation reads like this. Today there is a question that everyone is asking. It is about these creatures, these demonic creatures that are called Tokoloshes. And I think that it is very important for people to know that everything has its own beginning, and people, they do deserve, especially those that are suffering, to know how it all began, so that they can understand how these demonic creatures work and the dangers that they do bring when one decides to use them to be wealthy, to be rich. You need to know how these Tokoloshes operate. These Tokoloshes have made a lot of people to suffer. For a very long time, people have been suffering. But these Tokoloshes, you have to know that even though they are all called Tokoloshes, but they are not the same. There is a hierarchy when it comes to these Tokoloshes. So if one goes to a traditional healer to get this Tokoloshe, then it will be the duty of that traditional healer to determine which Tokoloshe he or she is supposed to give to the client that would have came to consult with him or her, because these Tokoloshes, they serve different functions. So it is a very long process from the day that you go to consult for these creatures to be given to you by your healer until the day that you will receive this creature. There are so many types of these Tokoloshes. Some of them, they are really tiny, small, and some of them, they are giants of Tokoloshes. But today, we are going to be focusing on the Tokoloshe that has made so much of our people here in Zim to suffer. A Tokoloshe is created using the spirit of a person that would have died. So the wandering spirit of the person that would have died will be summoned by the healer. And he might take a very small tree branch or a ritual clay pot or a calabash. In Shona we call it dende, and the spirit of the dead will be made to possess that ritual item. Then the spirit will be addressed properly, and it is called by its name, and it is told that from today you can see this calabash, you can see this tree branch, this clay pot. From today, this is the home that we have given to you. This has become your home. Mind you, when this ritual is done, it does not mean that the ritual is fully complete, because there is another step that has to be followed for this ritual to be complete. The next step is that the client who wants to become a ritualist has to invite the spirit, aka the Tokoloshe, into his own bloodline. It has to be invited into the family. It cannot invite itself into the bloodline. So the spirit has to be invited into the bloodline, to follow his bloodline, to become one with the bloodline. So when this is done, it means that the ancestors of that family will be tired down. They won't even be able to do anything once this Tokoloshe has been brought into the family. That is why people, a lot of them that has these Tokoloshes, will struggle to let go of their Tokoloshes, because the spirit, the day that you try to throw it away, the spirit will argue and it will say, "Oh, today, so you want to throw me away. Yet I had became part of your family. And if you do so, if you try to throw me away, there is going to be blood. Blood is going to be spilled today just to chase me out of your family." These Tokoloshes have always been there, even before the Europeans came to the southern part of Africa. These spirits, they were always there. They were mainly used for hunting wild animals. That is why they always want blood as a sacrifice, because this had been a tradition to give them blood as part of their payment for a sacrifice of blood. For each and every sacrifice, blood is always required, no matter which culture it is. Without blood, there is no life. It's the same with these spirits. They also need blood to survive. In the past centuries, these spirits were used for hunting purposes. A man would have a Tokoloshe. If he had that Tokoloshe, he will go out of his compound and he will go into the forest with his spear and the knotberry, and he will return with a slaughtered antelope. So as the man will be busy hunting, he would creep up on an unsuspecting wild animal, and when the antelope will realize that he is being watched by the hunter, the antelope will try to run away. Then the Tokoloshe, just like a hunting dog, that Tokoloshe would pounce on that antelope and hand it over to the hunter. Even today, these Tokoloshes, they are still being used in the parts. Even today, these Tokoloshes, they are still being used in parts of Mozambique for hunting purposes. Some people, they even do rent out their Tokoloshes to their friends. So always this Tokoloshe, no matter where you go to, the Tokoloshe, when it kills a victim, it strangles its victim and breaks the neck, then the blood will come out and it will suck the first blood. When these Tokoloshes were introduced into our country, Zim, from Mozambique, then we became so greedy. Those that were given these Tokoloshes by their forefathers, they started forcing these Tokoloshes to work and bringing in money. Yet their forefathers, most of them had taken these Tokoloshes from Mozambique just to take care of the livestock, the family, and the family's compound. And after their forefathers had passed on, then they stopped feeding these Tokoloshes like what their forefathers will do, because their forefathers, after they had gotten these Tokoloshes, they would slaughter a bull at the end of the year just for the Tokoloshe. So when people started getting rich because of these Tokoloshes, they moved from the villages, and most of them, they came to the city and they built their houses. Some built their houses in Borodale, where they kept these Tokoloshes. They kept on using them, and they were making money day after day. These Tokoloshes were being used without any rest. So what these people started doing was that instead of sacrificing bulls to these spirits, they gave these Tokoloshes human blood, and they gave human blood to the Tokoloshes. So that is how these Tokoloshes tasted human blood. So to the owner of the Tokoloshes, they had to write down how many sacrifices he can afford and how many relatives he was willing to lose. There are some who can even dig up a grave and they will force a bull into that grave and bury the bull alive. And mind you, this bull has to be perfect in all ways, without any injuries, without ever being tied to a rope. Remember that these Tokoloshes, they were once living beings. So if this Tokoloshe comes to you, it will tell you that these are my terms and conditions. You just don't do what you want with my money. Some, they do consider a Tokoloshe to be more like a bank, and I don't know if any of your listeners have noticed that there are some people, some that are very rich. If you go to them, if you ask them, even like for a single dollar, $1, they will give you, but not on the same day. They will say, please come back tomorrow. It is because the person has to go first and they have to speak with their Tokoloshe. Ask first, for those are the rules of the covenant. There are people out there who claim that they can remove these Tokoloshes. Those people, they are there to steal your money. There is no one who has the spiritual powers to remove a Tokoloshe. It has to be returned back to the person who made it. If you want a Tokoloshe to be removed, this is how you know that the person that you are dealing with is not going to scam you. He has to know where this spirit was made, where this spirit came from, and he has to speak with the owner of that Tokoloshe, the one who created it. When a healer creates a Tokoloshe, he knows it just like you know all of your cows if you have any cattle. And the Tokoloshe will consistently communicate with the healer. That is why when you mess up the terms and the condition of your covenant that you would have had with that healer, then you will get into trouble same time, because at the headquarters they will be informed that you have messed up. So in this generation, there are some healers who are renting out these spirits to their clients for about 5 years. Then you make money. Some of them, they take away the number of years that you were supposed to live, and they give it to their Tokoloshes. Today, I just wanted to give you a brief history of this creature. And if you check in most families where a lot of rituals are taking place, you will see that either one child is born with a disability, and that is the child that is loved the most by the parents. Or you can see that amongst the children, there will be one that will be very poor. No matter what they will try to do in life, they won't be able to achieve anything. It is because the person will be the one that will be used by that Tokoloshe. The person can't get married. The person can't achieve anything in life. Dear listeners, right there was the narration of that voice note that I had posted earlier on. So it was just a brief history of this demonic creature that is called the Tokoloshe. You can tell me what you think in the comment section. And if you have any questions, you can also write in the comment section. Then I will forward your questions to him.